Day 2 of the Georgia High School Association State Semifinals begins with Class 2A. It's the undefeated Buford Wolves, 13-0, taking on the Dublin Fighting Irish, 11-2. This begins a full day of high school football right here on Georgia Public Broadcasting, and this morning, green is the color of the morning. And top of the morning to you, John Wilkerson, along with Bo Bach. And Bo, what we have this morning is two traditional powers in Class 2A.
Yeah, John, we're in for a doozy. And you've all heard of Breakfast of Champions and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Well, if you're at home, pour yourself a cup of coffee, because we're in for another pigskin breakfast from the Georgia Dome, compliments of GPB. This figures to be a Donnybrook, because when you talk to Jess Simpson of Buford and Roger Holmes of Dublin, both coaches have exactly the same thing to say about the other guy's team, and that is both a huge upfront on both sides of the ball. So this is going to be one kind of slobberknocker. Let's take a look at some of the players. For Buford, number 5, tailback and defensive back, Demetrius Murray. He's 5'10", 208, 9 yards a carry and 19 yards a catch, but he's a leading defensive player, and he's committed to South Florida. Number 58 is Omar Hunter. Look at the size of him. 3'11". He's 6'1". He bench presses 410. He plays on the offensive and defensive line, and today plays against the Fighting Irish of Dublin, Georgia. And I say that because he's committed to Notre Dame.
And I'm sure we'll be calling Big Omar's name throughout the day. Now, Jess Simpson is in his 3rd year as head coach of Buford. He gives you the lowdown on the Wolves, what you'll see this morning.
Offensively, you'll see a multiply offense, a lot of motions and shifts, have a senior team. We're led by a bunch of big guys up front who really come off the ball. Got a senior tailback and quarterback and a couple senior receivers. Defensively, we're a 4-3, multiple out of that package. Do a lot of different things in the secondary, but senior on that side of the ball as well. A lot of kids that have played 3 years on that side of the ball.
Well, now let's tell you about the other team in green, the Dublin Fighting Irish. And, Bo, they have a quarterback, Rashad, who's very special.
Yeah, he's not only special, he's one of the leading playmakers you're going to see today. He's Rashad Smith. He's number 9. He's a junior quarterback. He ran for 800 yards, passed for over 700. He also returns punts and kickoffs for a high average and leads all DBs on their squad with 9 interceptions. On the other side of the ball, number 1 running back, Andrakis Rollins. He's 5'10", 185, averages over 7 yards a carry and 23 yards a catch. On defense, has 103 tackles and 3 sacks at middle linebacker. We're in for a doozy.
You're in for a doozy,
yeah.
Aren't we? Well, let's hear from Dublin's head coach. He's in his 6th year, Roger Holmes.
Well, offensively for us at Dublin High School, we base our offense out of a wing T type attack. It's a little bit different than some of the traditional wing T's. We do try to run some midline option and some triple option out of it, and feel like that we throw the football generally a little bit more than most wing T teams. We'll throw it probably 10 to 15 times and hopefully have some success doing that. So it's sort of a mixture of a West Coast, Georgia Southern type spread and Delaware wing T. For us defensively, we base out of a 4-3. We will jump into a 5-3 front every once in a while, and mostly a zone coverage type football team. It doesn't blitz a whole lot.
And now that you know the particulars of this game, now let's introduce you to the 3rd member of our crew patrolling the sidelines today is Davina Sutton. Good morning, Davina.
Well, from the start, Dublin's football team was not even supposed to make it this far in the playoffs, and that's because this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for them. Coach Rogers Holmes graduated 21 out of his 22 starters, in addition to losing most of his coaching staff for various reasons, and I'll expand on that part of the story a little later once the game starts. But from Friday to Friday and week to week, the Fighting Irish literally had to fight for each of their wins, and that's why coming into the game today, they are dubbed by the sports writers who cover them as being the underdogs, and that's because they face Buford, a team who has truly been rolling over each of their opponents all season long. So, Bo and John, we are already down here for that pigskin breakfast you've been talking about.
It's a green morning here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. It's the Buford Wolves and the Dublin Fighting Irish getting ready to mix it up here at the Georgia Dome for the Class 2A semifinal. Here come the Wolves, undefeated, 13-0. Have a little problem with that paper right off the bat there, Bo.
Whoa. Bam.
The Fighting Irish mean business. This is a matchup against two traditional powers in Class 2A. Each program over the years have won 4 state championships, and the winner today will move on to the state championship game in Class 2A.
The athletic director of Buford is Dexter Wood. He really got it going for the Wolves, and they've continued that dominance. This really is going to be one heck of a game. Also for Buford, for longtime Falcon fans, the 2 best safeties we ever had on the club were Pridemore and Case. Scott Case and Tommy Pridemore. Well, their sons play for Buford, and you'll see them today. Cody Case and T.J. Pridemore. T.J. Pridemore, though, is about 6'2" and 240. If Tommy had that type of size, he would have killed people.
Well, Dublin, the defending 2A state champion, they tied with Charlton County last year. And this year, they'd like to claim it for themselves. There's Roger Holmes, the head coach of the Dublin Fighting Irish in his 6th year. Won 64 games in 6 years with the Irish and a state championship. He went to college at Middle Tennessee State. Dublin will receive the kickoff, and we are underway from the Georgia Dome. That's Rashad Smith, who slips at the 16-yard line, and that's where Smith and the Dublin Fighting Irish take over. Rashad Smith pretty much does everything for this team. He's also plays defensive back. You'll see him return kicks and punts. He's also the starting quarterback, and pretty nice numbers there. 670 yards passing this year, 11 touchdowns. He does it all for this team. Very talented athlete, very tough, hard-nosed kid. And so on first down from the 16. Little quarterback sneak, and it goes nowhere. That wall of Buford Wolves stops it for 1 gain. Here's the Dublin offensive line of Trent Barnes, Sean Holloman, Nick McRae, Thomas Purvis, and Johnny Howard. Rollins and Reed are your running backs. Coffey and Canada are your wideouts, and Anthony Thomas, the junior, is your tight end. 1 yard gain, 2nd and 9. And Drakus, Rollins will get about 4 yards, maybe 3, and that's it. Josh Rudnick and Demetrius Murray on the stop. As you take a look at the Buford defense of Tyler King, Dallas Lee, Omar Hunter, and Andrew Zacchaeus, Pridemore, Anderson, and Swanson. This is a formidable front 7 and a good secondary. Rudnick, Murray, Case, and Vining. 3rd down and 6. Smith to throw his first pass of the game. Instead, he's knocked down. T.J. Pridemore. There he is, Bo.
His daddy's proud, as are all Buford fans. And I'll tell you what, Dublin came out and said, okay, we'll play a little cards with you. And they'll just run the quarterback sneak right at Omar Hunter. But look at young Pridemore there. Just ran over the offensive lineman trying to block him. He found a way to get to the QB for the sack.
Wow, 101 tackles on the year for Pridemore. Is Michael Coffey, who averages 30.4 yards a punt. And this one shanked. Gets a nice roll, though. But Buford will start off at the Dublin 40. And you'll get your first look at the Dublin offense, led by number 10, Tui Hoosh. And this is a competitor, according to his coach, Jess Simpson. Great passing numbers, over 1,000 yards, but this is a kid who wears his emotions on his sleeve. He is the emotional leader of this offense. He's also a tough competitor. Out of the I formation. Murray in the back of the I. No, it's an end around to Cody Getz, and Getz will have a first down, upended by Johnny Reed. It'll be a first down for the Wolves.
Well, it's a great opening play for Buford.
Dallas Lee, Omar Hunter, Drew Dasher, Andy Kellogg, and J.J. Miller are your offensive line. King, the fullback with Murray, Case, Harris, and J.T. Swanson at tight end. Penalty flag down. Illegal participation.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution, 12 men in the huddle, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So what will be the key to the Buford offense here, Bo?
Well, it's going to be, the power game, and, Coach Holmes told me he'd like to put 11 in the box, but when they look outside, you see these giant receivers. You can't do that.
On play action, Hoosh feeling a little pressure. Fires complete to Cody Case, the senior who has 16 catches on the year. Be about 3 yards short of the first down, and this Wolves offense is moving.
Hoosh did a great job of just holding his water, being patient, getting wide, getting outside, finding his receiver. Watch this. Great fake. Doesn't panic, now goes outside, is not antsy, finds his receiver uncovered, and throws to him, and that's Cody Case.
There's a penalty flag down.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Well, that's what happens when a passing play does take a long time to unfold. You inevitably have somebody downfield.
So 2 straight penalties have backed up the Buford Wolves. It's still first down, but first and 20. The pitch is to Cody Getz, and Getz will get a couple of yards. Johnny Reed there on the tackle for the Irish.
Same play that Buford opened the game with and went for big yardage.
Sean Holloman, Nick McRae, Gerald Rollins, and Johnny Howard, followed by Johnny Reed and Dracus Rollins and Anthony Thomas, the front 7. Colbert, Rashad Smith, Keyshawn Spikes, and Michael Coffey are your defensive backfield. Rashad Smith has 6 interceptions to lead the team.
Hosh is a great ball handler. You saw that misdirection on that last play. We've seen him fake the ball. We've seen him go in opposite directions. He really is precise.
3 wideouts. Hoosh looking to throw. Looking toward Harris. Complete to Demetrius Murray, and Murray will have a first down.
Nice job. Picked the right receiver. Watch, you're liable to see a receiver go deep, and he gets deep here, but Hosh doesn't worry about that. Takes the wide open receiver and delivers the ball.
Our first look at Murray. He has 9 catches for 171 yards. Has 3 touchdowns receiving this year. Out of shotgun to Hoosh. Looking to throw a screen, looking toward the end zone. Instead, he's brought down. Good defensive play by the Fighting Irish, number 73, Gerald Rollins, with Sean Holloman finishing him off.
Great pursuit. You see this? He's got actually Cody Case open all the way back on the right side, but he'd have to reverse his field to be able to get the ball to him. But we talked about this in the open. This is the type of game it's going to be. Both these teams are big and fast, and they really get after it. These are football players.
Alex Campos in punt position, but we have a timeout called by the Wolves. Good field position for Buford, but the Fighting Irish defense stiffens. Both defenses are come to play.
Yeah, they really have, and both teams can run. And that great size up front. And this is what the coaches were talking about when they talked about and set up each other. They talked about this looks like our team. You know, like I said, Coach Holmes said, I'd love to put 11 in the box against these guys because they also have that 250-pound fullback, as he said. Every coach exaggerates a little bit.
Just a little.
He said, but I can't because their receivers are so good.
Well, in talking with Coach Holmes this morning, he said, you know, a key to Brandeis is make Buford a one-dimensional on offense. Well, now they're going to go for it on 4th down and 12.
That's how good they feel about their defense, John.
Hoosh, safety blitz, gets it away, complete. Cody Getz with a sliding catch and has the first down.
I think he's gotten just the right spot.
He knew exactly where the sticks were. So Cody Getz, who had 17 catches on the year, averages 14.2 yards per catch. Here's take a look at his season numbers: 2 touchdowns, a great safety valve for Tui Hoosh. First and 10. Lone back is Demetrius Murray. He'll get the call. Murray with a big haul. One man to beat. Plowing over it just short of the goal line. Demetrius Murray, oh my, what a running back he is.
You know, he looked like he goes about 230 with the power he ran with, but he's a 5'10", 208 kid. But watch him run over people. There's one there. There's 2. Well, didn't run over him, but he was able to bring him down, but picked up another 3 yards after contact.
That was Michael Coffey, who was the last line of defense for the Fighting Irish. First and goal from the 1. They give it to Murray, and he's in for the touchdown. And Buford scores on their first possession of the game.
He earned it. That's behind that big offensive line.
Murray has 19 touchdowns on the year. This makes it 20. Just power football. When you get the big boys inside, you can do that. Lawson McGloom. And it's 7-0 Buford. Buford made it look easy in their first possession. As you take a look at Dublin head coach Roger Holmes, who that was probably his worst nightmare right there, giving up that score on Buford.
Well, I think that 4th down conversion was really disappointing to him.
Shad Smith in the end zone. He'll come out to the 20.
Really special kickoffs, too. I mean, the first one was perfect. Came down on the 2 with some hang time. That one just missed. It was just inside the goal line. Of course, comes out to the 20. But, you know, it's tough to find that type of kicking game at the high school level.
Very tough. Now, what would you say the keys on the offense right now for Dublin?
Well, Dublin's, you know, you obviously are not going to panic. You're down 7-0 early in the game. You've got to establish the line of scrimmage. They run behind a big center, the McRae kid, number 76. He's committed to Georgia Tech. He's a 310-pound center.
And give it to Andrakis Rollins. And Rollins, level, loses the football. It'll stay with the Irish.
Tackled by Cody Vining. Watch this. Breaks down and picture perfect tackle. That was a textbook tackle. Head up. Boom. Just drive through the man, lift him, and dump him. And
Sean Holloman, for an offensive lineman, showed some good hands. Anyway, it's 2nd and 6. Trouble with the snap, and Smith trying to make something out of nothing. He may have gotten the first down. Demetrius Murray and Cody Vining in on the stop. And he'll have a first down for the Irish.
That's why Coach calls him one of the great playmakers he's ever had. He makes something out of nothing. Offensively, defensively, he really makes it happen. Look at this. Composure, picks his spot, takes his shot. wriggles away.
Well, I'm impressed with the just the flat-out violence and hitting of this Buford team. You take a look at Cody Case. On the end around, it's Rollins, and Rollins met by a host of Wolves, led by Cody Vining.
Well, they run to the ball, don't they? That was what was emphasized when Pridemore and Case played for the Falcons. That was the defensive philosophy. Run to the ball. You could just never let up from any position on the field. And obviously those dads have handed it down, and their sons have passed it along to their teammates because they get after it.
Yeah, whenever Dublin has the football, there's already 9 white shirts right there to get them. And Smith in trouble and brought down. That's Landon Anderson. And there were 3 Wolves in his kitchen.
No, I'm almost sure it's going to be holding coming from that spot on the field. And against that pass rush, no, offside. Illegal motion.
We'll hear from Chip Hoffman.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
3rd and long. Chip Hoffman's your referee. From the Augusta Officials Association, Jerry Saugus, Mark Turner, Amp Pollard, Scott Green, Bobby Moy. They'll be working the game today. Hopefully we don't hit from Chip a whole lot today. 3rd and long. Smith to throw. Now a little shovel pass to Rollins. And Rollins met by Pridemore. He'll pick up about 7, but they had to get to the 41-yard line for the 1st down. They'll punt the ball.
It's the old Lee Buttercup play.
An oldie but a goodie. Michael Coffey will punt. Cody Getz back deep for the Wolves. Nice punt.
Yeah.
And Getz will take it running at the 40, 45. It's the midfield, and we'll be in Fighting Irish territory. Nice return by Cody Getz. The fans in Buford have made the trip down I-85, the short trip. They're excited. This is the first time that the Wolves have been to the Georgia Dome since 2004.
Well, they had a good run for a long while. They had a run this year where they shut out 3 opponents in a row. It looked like they were really on a roll. But this is a heck of a football program that Dexter Wood put together.
Jess Simpson was on that staff with Coach Wood. Now he's the head man. Here's some play action. A little bootleg action, and it's incomplete, intended for Cody Case.
Haas really upset with himself for not putting that ball right on the money. It's the first time he's hurried to throw, even a little bit. He's usually so composed and set up and steps into the throw, and threw that one a little bit off balance.
He's a kid that wears his emotions on his sleeve, and you know, Coach Simpson told me the other day he's really a tough competitor. Boy, 2,500 yards passing. Had a nice career in the Wolf uniform. That's Murray. No, it's Alex Hunt, the senior running back. He'll get about 6-7 yards. Bring up 3rd down. Well, that's a straight power football, Bo. Just run it up the middle. And that offensive line is creating those opportunities for the running backs.
Well, that's what they talk about behind that big fullback. There's a lot of things you can do to keep teams honest.
3rd and 4. That is Alex Hunt again, and Hunt will have the 1st down.
Spread out the defense a little bit with the formation and then ran it up the gut. He had stacked receivers to the left side. Got to pay attention to them. That spreads the linebackers out a little bit. Then you come back to that left side with that linebacker spread out.
So Alex Hunt getting some significant playing time in the first quarter. That's Murray, and Demetrius Murray breaks a big one. 20. He's in the clear and gone. Touchdown, Wolves.
Wow.
A really big wow. He just running downhill.
He averaged almost 9 yards a carry this year, but, listed at 5'10", 208. When you see him on your TV screen, doesn't he look bigger than that? And doesn't he look heavier than that?
That's a 36-yard touchdown run.
That looks like a 6'1", 225 kid to me, but he's not.
You think Jim Leavitt's going to like him in South Florida?
Yeah, they're going to love him.
Lawson McGloom. His second PAT of the day. And in the first quarter, it's already 14-0 Buford. Thanks to Demetrius Murray scoring both touchdowns. Just
right through 2 tacklers. And then turns on the speed to run away from a DB.
That's a special running back when you're able to run over people and outrun people. Demetrius Murray, a senior. He had 125 yards rushing versus Darlington in the second round of the playoffs, as you take a look at the scoring drive. 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Buford's victory over Charlton County in the quarterfinals. 53 yards already on the day for Demetrius Murray. We haven't even played a quarter yet. Rashad Smith watches it go out of bounds, and then we'll kick it again.
Just when I talk about the kickoffs and the kicking game, isn't it always the way? I think they were trying to squib that. They obviously didn't want to be that close to the sideline.
Free kick infraction on the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Well, Roger Holmes, not in panic mode yet, but being 14-0, down 14-0 the first quarter, you can still get the job done.
Well, he's got to put it in the hands of his playmaker, and that's his quarterback. And they've got to make something happen.
We won't kick it again. We'll take it at the 35. Another wing T look. Rollins in motion. Smith's going to throw. Has no time to throw and brought down. Pridemore was involved along with Dallas Lee.
Dublin really blocked it well. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get it because nobody was open in the secondary, but it was blocked so well up front. Look at that block right there to the left side of your screen. Now he comes back. Now he reverses. Now he's open, but there's nobody. He's ready to throw, but there's nobody open in the secondary.
Well, this Buford defense, I've been reading raves about this crew, and boy, they haven't disappointed as we near the 2-minute mark in the first quarter. And short passes over the head of his intended receiver, Bryston Canada.
You're right, John. They look big league. They look just the way they line up and the way they go about their business. They look like a junior college, a well-coached junior college playing somewhere.
And there's some Division I talent on that defense.
Oh, yeah, and in fact, T.J. Pridemore has committed to Georgia Tech. Paul Johnson will be happy about that. I met him last night at his press conference. A very impressive man.
3rd and 12, and penalty flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty,
well,
3rd down.
That's all Dublin needs right now is penalties.
The Georgia Tech coaches are watching right now and watching their commitments. And Paul Johnson said that his first order of business this week is to talk to his commitments this weekend, get in touch with them. So TJ will be getting a call from Coach Paul Johnson probably later today.
Probably. Won't have to change the color of his helmet either. 3rd and 17. No time to throw it off for Rashad Smith. And in his grasp was Tyler King.
Yeah, no chance. No chance whatsoever.
5 sacks on the year for King.
Rashad should have seen that his team could not block the left side. Nobody lined up. And they were just going to come after him.
Michael Coffey for his 3rd punt.
Boom.
Almost blocked. I think it might have been touched. And that'll roll to the 47-yard line. That punt was deflected. Deontay Carr flew in there.
Yeah, watch him come. Very fast. It's a very fast squad. Yeah, he got a piece of it.
So Buford, who has scored on their first 2 possessions of the game, as you see what we do on possession 3. Murray's in the back of the eye. Something special might happen if he gets the ball in his hands. Instead, it's Alex Hunt in the back of the eye, and he crosses midfield to the 48-yard line. Let's head down to the sidelines. Davina Sutton, what do you got?
Well, you know, Buford's football team, you guys were alluding to, their defense was named #1 by several recruiting sources and scouting services in the state. And they actually got a chance to play out of state. In Ohio, they played the Kirkhurst Street Classic, and they played on turf, and they beat a team from Columbus, Ohio, 34-7.
Wow.
And that was a thrill of a lifetime for this team because they played it at Canton, Ohio at Fawcett Stadium. They got to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Cody Getz was, well, let's just say he was a little early.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He just wanted to play a little arena football.
I was going to
Whereas
say.
inside, I'm inside. Let's see what this feels like.
You can do that in Canada, too.
Yeah.
Buford already over 100 yards, and Dublin in negative numbers so far on the afternoon, on the morning. There's Getz. No, that's Giselle Curry. Curry with a big gainer to the 35-yard line. I tell you, this Buford offense, we've talked about their defense. This offense is clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, watch this. Just great instincts. Good running, puts the ball on the outside arm, covers it up when contact is approaching. What a well-coached team.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. It's been all Wolves. They are howling at the Georgia Dome. The Buford Wolves up by 2 touchdowns as we start the second quarter, and the star of the show has been number 5, Demetrius Murray, Bo.
Yeah, magic man. Magic because he plays bigger than he actually is. Look at him, number 5. And he just looks so much bigger than he's listed. 5'10", 208. He looks bigger than that. There he is with the power game.
2 touchdowns on the day. This is his second. It was a big one, Bo.
Later on, he goes outside, runs over people, and then runs away from people and dives into the end zone. He's really something.
So we've seen 1 power run touchdown by player number 5, Demetrius Murray, and we've seen 1 where he just outran everybody. He's committed to South Florida, and he won't have to change his colors. Buford with the football at the Dublin 35 to begin the second quarter. Murray's out there. Melvin Harris and Cody Case are your wideouts. It's Murray with some moves. Murray's just making it look easy.
Well,
First down.
That was one of those special moves. That was, to be able to bounce outside like that without losing speed. Watch this. Now bounces sideways, boom, and doesn't lose any speed. That's a special gift. That's a Tashard Choice type of thing. That's an Emmitt Smith type of thing.
Well, with number 5 on his back, you reminded me a lot of Darren McFadden. 1st and 10. Gets in motion. And the give up the middle, maybe a couple, and that's it. Tyler King on the carry, the big fullback. Jess Simpson's got to be loving life right now. First appearance in the Dome in 3 years, and things are going well.
You know, he told me that Dublin's the biggest team they ever played against. Said they're huge up front.
That's Tyler King rumbling to a 1st down. An old school fullback, Jess Simpson calls him. Look at the scratches on his helmet.
Yeah,
that's a fullback.
He's the big one that Roger Holmes was talking about. A lot of people can get a lot of yards running behind him.
6'1", 240. 250 yards rushing this season and 15 touchdowns. And timeout.
But his little brother plays for Walton and will play tonight at 6 o'clock. So you know that Bobby is tuned in.
That's great. And we hope
it's a great service to all Georgia citizens, wherever you're stationed, wherever you're traveling, to be able to get these games and get GPB.
And we hope wherever you are, you're enjoying these high school football games. We got 5 of them today. Murray, and this time he's met in the backfield and thrown for a loss. Big Jesse Hall is there to bring him down.
Well, good timeout, Coach Holmes. Way to get you guys going and way to shore up the interior of that defensive line. That was a great play. They needed that.
They needed something positive to happen.
Yeah.
Hall almost lost his hat.
Especially
like a senior.
Especially since you don't want a team to just cram it down your throat. Got to make a stand.
And who's to throw? Caught. That's Demetrius Murray. And Murray will be close to the 1st down. Had to catch it off his shoestrings.
Hash again, great composure. Watch the pursuit from his backside. He feels it, just gets away, makes a nice throw where only the receiver can catch it.
3rd down and 4 for the Wolves. Need to get to the 4 for a 1st down. They give it to the big fullback, and that's Tyler King rumbling in the end zone for the touchdown. 8-yard run by Tyler King, number 16 on the year, and the old school fullback with the scratches on his helmet puts Buford up by 3 touchdowns.
Well, you have to feed the pachyderm. You know, make sure he's happy.
And when the pachyderm is happy, life is good. Lawson McGloon, who's 2 for 2 on PATs today. Now make that 3 for 3, and it's 21-0 Buford. There's Big Tyler, 240. Got a little speed on him, 4.740.
Yeah.
This is just basic power football, Bobach.
There it is right there. And for a guy at 240, be able to dive over like that, reach for it, that's good stuff.
No chance at all for Dublin. So Buford's up 21-0. And 8 plays, 52 yards, about 4 minutes of time. And Tyler King with his 8-yard touchdown run. Well, everything is going Buford's way.
Yeah, got to find a way to score now, Dublin. Got to pull something out of your bag of tricks.
You know, I'm looking at the Dublin fans right below us, Bo, and they're just in shock.
Yeah. Well, you know what's shocking is that when you go against a team like Buford and they put on such a show and they're so precise and so well coached the way they execute, you know, you realize that we've really got a big-time opponent here. And you know that the prospects of coming back are very difficult.
Dublin will get the football at the 20. Well, Dublin can't feel demoralized. There's still plenty of time in this game. We're just in the second quarter.
No, but it's human nature to be a little bit down. You're down 21-0. You know, a lot of time left in the second quarter. That is the one thing you have going for you. You guys have got to find a way to climb back into this thing because there's enough time to get it done.
But you can stick to your game plan as Johnny Reed on the carry. He'll pick up 4.
Well, that's a positive play right there.
And they can build on those positive plays and get back in this game. We got a full day of football here at the Georgia Dome in the semifinals here on GPB. Right after this is the second AA semifinal between the Lovett Lions and Cook. Then at 3 o'clock, Cairo and North Hall in the AAA semifinals. The winner of that game will play Carver Columbus, and Walton South Gwinnett. A 6 o'clock game. And Dallas Lee with a huge defensive play there.
Well, Dallas Lee with the penetration took that away. That play might have gone for some yards if he could have gotten this pitch away.
Just grabbed him by the shirt. Brought him down.
Well, you know what? It was smart to reel that football back in.
I'll bring up another 3rd and long. Dallas Lee, a junior, 54 tackles on the year. That was his 3rd quarterback sack. He's 6'4", 290. Benches 340, Bo.
Boy, these kids today.
A little misdirection. That'll go for a couple of yards, and that's it.
They all bench over 300. Remind me of myself.
Johnny Reed on the carry. J.T. Swanson on the stop.
Crying out loud.
I don't remember doing that when I was in high school.
No, there weren't many. In fact, when I was in high school, weightlifting was almost a no-no.
Coffee with the punt. Gets back deep. Will go out of bounds.
I played football at the University of Miami, and we didn't have a weight program until my junior year, and that was when a health club opened up down the block on Dixie Highway, and they made arrangements for the football team to come through. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it.
That was 1965, I guess.
All right, so you did play with a face mask.
I did play with a face mask, but I never used it. I'd unscrew it. I didn't like it. It impaired my vision.
Another offensive possession for the Wolves, and they've scored on all 3. Tui Hoosh. And the shotgun will end around to Getz. Getz maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Defensed well by the Dublin Fighting Irish. Well,
well designed and well thought out by Dublin how to stop that.
Anthony Thomas was there to chase him down before Getz could get in full gallop.
There's another positive play to build on.
And especially on this Fighting Irish defense that has been run over so far. We give it to King. King's gotten some positive carries. This time he only gets 3 yards. And now, with Trent Barnes on the tackle, now we're seeing some life out of this Fighting Irish defense.
Okay, 3rd and long. Now Dublin. Now's the time to come with a play.
And the Dublin defense imploring their fans to make some noise. And for the first time, the green and gold of the Fighting Irish standing up and applauding in unison.
Good for them. Here we go. See if they come with some blitz pressure, some type of pressure package. Big play. Big play.
Inspiring that defense. Being that 12th man. Hoosh out of the shotgun. Lets it go. Incomplete. Intended for Cody Case. And fourth down will be coming up for the Wolves, and they'll kick.
Not a play that Cody Case could make. That ball was just thrown too much inside, and it was a rifle shot. You can see that Hoosh can really, he's got a great arm.
So a good, positive outcome for this Fighting Irish defense. Alex Campos, who's boomed a 60-yarder this year. Rashad Smith back deep. Almost blocked, and now the penalty flag will go down as Campos was run into by Johnny Reed.
You know, great play.
And there'll be a personal foul, and that'll give Buford a first down.
You just can't, you watch this. You can't get there and miss the football. You cannot be that close and miss the football. First of all, it came after the kicker instead of out in front of the kicker, where he would have had a chance to block the ball. Gosh darn it.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You had the play made. It was a good call by coach. Pressure, go after it, block it, and you get there, and then he's able to get it away.
But he took a direct path instead of curling around, too.
Well, he's got to come out in front of him. You got to leave your feet.
New life for the Wolf offense. Hoosh on a bootleg, looking to throw, and it's intended for Tyler King, and he caught it. Nice catch by the big fullback. A first down for Buford. That was Melvin Harris, I'm sorry, on the catch.
Watch Hoosh here. He's going to come out, now square his feet. That slows down the pursuit, and is able to deliver the ball on the run.
King was right there. I'm sorry, that was T.J. Pridemore. He was right there. The 2s and 7s look the same to me for some reason. Melvin Harris, 6'7", 180. Runs a 4.4 and a timeout called by Buford. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, the GHSA Class AA semifinal. And the Buford Wolves are up by 3 touchdowns over the Dublin Fighting Irish, and Bo Dublin had this possession stopped, but a roughing the punter call gave the ball back to the Wolves. And
tough play.
Now the Wolves are threatening to score for the 4th time.
You know, we talked about quarterback Rashad Smith being a playmaker. Someone else has got to step up and make a play now and be a playmaker, and whether it's blocking a punt or doing something special off the kicking game, someone's got to step up.
A key strip, an interception, anything. King in motion. The give is to Alex Hunt. And Hunt stood up, leans and gets a couple of yards, and that's about it. Johnny Reed on the stop, along with Johnny Howard for the Irish.
Dublin's Coach Holmes was talking about, as we mentioned earlier, about loading up the box against the Buford running game. But, you know, outside is the big-time receivers and the big size and the receivers, and Melvin Harris is the kid he was talking about.
Harris at 6'7". That's Murray. And Murray can't escape the grasp of Johnny Howard.
Dublin all of a sudden playing stout against the run.
Howard, a senior, 35 tackles, 6'2", 265. And grabbed Demetrius Murray by the leg and wouldn't let go. That defense has played a lot in this first half for the Irish. Well, another 3rd down and 4. that backfield. It's Murray, and Murray gliding to a first down. The Buford defense, or the Dublin defense, had him stopped right at the first down marker, but he was able to lean a little bit, keep the feet moving, and get a first down.
That's where a stop had to come. That's what we're talking about, a playmaker, somebody on defense making a play. They've been good up inside, but see, that tackle had to be made.
Slipped through the arms of Dracus Rollins. Here's Murray again, and Murray stood up at the line of scrimmage, and that's about as far as he's going to go. Bunch of green shirts in there to get him, and
Dublin.
Dracus Rollins led the pack.
Dublin playing with a lot of heart.
They are. I'm impressed.
Tough kids.
Well, they are the defending state champion in Class 2A. They shared it last year with Charlton County, or tied with Charlton County for the state championship. So there's pride on that team. The give is to King. King will not be denied. The big bulldozer scores again.
My goodness.
12 yards. Tyler King. Oh, he's loving it.
I don't know how you can hide an aircraft carrier, but watch him lurk. Just lurk behind the pile right there, and then drive. There's the score. Talk about heart. Look at those goalposts. I'll tell you why I want you to look at the goalposts.
4 for 4 on extra points for Lawson McGlone.
There was somebody out here on Wednesday with a roller painting it that day glow neon orange green, and evidently that's the high school color. High school goalposts have to be that color. Now he'll be back tomorrow on Sunday to repaint them white for the Falcons' Monday night game against the Saints.
Hey, it's good work if you can get it. The goalpost painter.
Yeah.
Now, will it dry in time for the Falcons?
Who knows?
Here's Mr. King.
There he is. Look, lurking back there. And now just drive.
Lowers those. Boy, you don't have a chance at all when he lowers his shoulder one-on-one.
Pile driving quads on that young man.
The big bulldozer, Tyler King. 12-yard run, a little over 2 minutes of time. A drive that should have ended at midfield. 33 yards on the day for the big fullback and 2 touchdowns. So Murray has a couple and King has a couple. Roger Holmes doesn't know what hit him. I get the feeling he's thinking he should have stayed in bed.
Well, you know, his kids are playing hard. As you said, they're the defending state champions. They've got a lot to be proud about. They just run up against this Buford addition, happens to be a juggernaut.
Well, they're going to get some field position out of this kick.
Look at that speed and coverage.
This is really, I guess, the best field position they've had all day.
Dublin is a fast football team, but the quicker team out here today is Buford. Buford has owned the speed category in this game.
Well, Rashad Smith and the rest of the Dublin Fighting Irish need something positive to happen offensively before they go into halftime. At least feel good about yourself when you go into halftime. Down by 4 touchdowns, and they'll give it to their fullback. Maybe a couple of yards, and that's it. That was Keyshawn Spikes on the carry. He had 62 yards rushing against Jefferson County in the second round of the playoffs.
I don't want to really say this because coaches will faint, but maybe it's time for Rashad Smith to take the game into his own hands. He is, after all, their best playmaker. Instead of handing off that last time, he should have read the defense, maybe taken it, try to make a play himself.
Instead, he drops the snap, and Buford recovers.
I jinxed him.
And now the Wolves have a chance as TJ Pridemore fell on the ball, and the Wolves have a chance to go up by 5 touchdowns. with a little over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. You know, Dublin just needs to get in the locker room and just forget about this. And I'm sure Fighting Irish pride will come out in the second half. They have a title to defend. On the reverse, that's Getz. And Getz with a nice move. And Getz down the sidelines, tripped up inside the 10-yard line. And Drakus Rollins saved the touchdown for the Fighting Irish.
Watch this. This is what I was talking about, speed across the board. Watch him come out. Defender's got him dead to rights. He breaks him down. He moves his feet, finds another angle, and takes off. Here it is again. There it is, number 7. Had him. And the other thing is, Charlie Reid's got no help. There was no pursuit coming behind him. But the speed factor is very evident here today.
The Wolves threatening. Who else? Tyler King.
Oh, stop it.
Tyler King.
Oh, stop it.
His 3rd touchdown.
Holy cow.
Is Tyler King performing on the big stage this morning?
Get him off the streets. Don't let him out. I'm not going up to Buford.
He might run over you.
My goodness.
Muglan, he was 4 for 4. Make it 5 for 5, and it's 35-0 Buford in the first half.
Hey, Coach, on the way home, stop the bus and get him a hamburger.
give him 3.
Please.
Let's sit back and enjoy Tyler King. The spin. Just carrying people.
Nothing I can say.
He's left you speechless.
Boy.
Anthony Thomas was just bulldozed into the end zone by Mr. King. Only 2 plays in 16 seconds, and Tyler King with a hat trick in the first half.
Gee whiz.
His 3rd touchdown from 8 yards. Well, these Buford Wolves are as good as advertised.
You know, I feel for Cody Case because he's a great defensive back and he's an excellent wide receiver for Buford. But when you start in the middle and you're getting all you want in the middle, there's no need to throw it outside. He's not going to have any catches today.
And a squib kick by Daniel Villafuerte, the backup kicker. And he'll stay with the Dublin Fighting Irish.
Now Buford just showing off. They're showing the whole package. You know, the kicking game, you know, we'll squib kick it. We're going to see the mortar kick from them next time.
Well,
you know, it's great to be well coached, as is Dublin, but it's also great to be well coached, as is Buford, especially when you have guys that can run like that.
We give and a couple of yards by Jeffrey Gassaway, who checked into the game.
Coach Holmes knows that when he gets in the locker room, he can't yell at his kids. You can't yell at kids. You're being, you know, oh, you're a little bit overmatched today, and you can't yell at them. You don't want them to lose their spirit. You don't want to disparage them. They've got to find a way to come out and give it their best, find a way to get a score, and leave here with a lot of pride.
Playing for Fighting Irish pride in second half. On keeper is Rashad Smith. And Smith out in the open for the first time, and he may go for a while. 2 men to beat. He's brought down by Demetrius Murray, and that's a huge play, a good positive play for the Irish.
That's what I'm talking about. There's Rashad Smith. That's the quarterback. That's the playmaker. That's the kid who makes it happen for Dublin. Look at this. Nothing really there. He's got a little bit of a seam, and then the great instinct to cut outside, cut it upfield, and make something happen.
40-yard pickup.
He's got to carry them,
junior
John.
quarterback. Yes, he does. Looking toward the end zone, toward Canada. And it's incomplete. There were 2 receivers down there.
Yeah, nobody really that open, though. Cody Case had great coverage on the receiver. You know, his dad, one of the great safeties in the National Football League, and because of injury, we lost our corners. Scott Case had to play corner one year. All he did was lead the league in interceptions.
And it's been passed down to Cody.
Yep.
Second down. First scoring threat of the morning for the Fighting Irish. Smith into the end zone again. And it's picked off by Demetrius Murray. Murray in midfield. Cuts it. Brought down by Johnny Reed. Big play after big play for the Wolves.
That play was really made by the pressure. Let's see who it was that hit Smith. Watch this. Boom. Couldn't see his number. I don't know who that was, but that's why he had to get rid of it prematurely and couldn't follow through with the ball.
And Johnny Reed was able to horse collar him and save the touchdown. And a timeout called by Buford with 30 seconds to go. And what a morning, a first half that man has had. Number 5, Demetrius Murray. 2 touchdowns on offense and an interception on defense.
Called timeout so he could get his breath.
Well, the Dublin cheerleaders are trying to get the fans up from Dublin. They made the trip up today and this morning to Atlanta.
They better make
a whole
a
lot to cheer about. Yep.
They got to make a cheer up that can work here.
Down to the last 30 seconds of the first half. Bush. Good protection now. Scrambling for his life. Bush just running in circles. Trying to make anything positive happen. And he's finally brought down by the Dublin Fighting Irish, Anthony Thomas.
Good for you. Good for you, Anthony. That would have really been demoralizing if you had him dead to rights and had him reverse his field twice and he was able to make a completion. So
And that'll be the final
instinct.
play of the first half. The first half dominated by the Buford Wolves. And take one more look at Crazy Legs Hoosh. 35-0. The Buford Wolves leading the Dublin Fighting Irish, the defending 2A state champion Irish. Buford undefeated on the year, 13-0. Looking to return to the state championship game. And let's hear from Davina Sutton. Davina.
Okay, well, Coach Simpson, your team is used to performing on big stages, and they definitely came out the big time this league. You go into the half with a very comfortable lead, but there's always something to improve. What is it?
Boy, if you watched the games yesterday, we better not relax. I mean, you know, we preach one play at a time and don't look at the scoreboard, and hopefully we can do that here this second half, but I know we better stay focused.
Now, going into the locker room, how do you keep up the momentum?
You know, it's senior leadership. It's about those kids understanding that it's a 48-minute game, and we got to come back out here and play.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Good luck. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Davina. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome, the Class AA semifinal. Buford leading 35-0 on the field right now is the Buford High School, and I love this name, Band of Wolves Band. They're led by the band director is Wallace Conrath. Jonathan Kaplan is the drum major of these Band of Wolves. There's 80 members of them. Enjoy the Band of Wolves on the field. Buford Band, the Band of Wolves. Let's go down to Davina Sutton.
Well, I'm here with Wally Conrath, with the band director of the Buford Band of Wolves, and you guys have been on big stages before. Talk about your competition at Lake Lanier.
This year at our competition at the Lake Lanier Tournament of Bands at Chestatee High School, we were the Silver Division champions and had a wonderful performance, as well as performing up at the Herb Street Classic up in Ohio with the football team this year. We've had a wonderful year.
And this selection that you chose is kind of funky. What is the name of the selection?
Well, this show this year is called Play That Funky Music, and we included music from the disco and funk era from the late 70s and early 80s.
Well, where do those girls get those funky outfits?
Well, it took a lot of time just looking around, trying to find stuff in catalogs and everything, but with the help of my wife, who's our auxiliary supervisor, we were able to find a lot of fun costumes.
All right, thank you. It's great having you here.
Welcome back. We're at halftime. Buford up 35-0. The Dublin High School Fighting Irish Marching Band on the field. Band director is Ken Goff. Tyvoris Thomas, Brittany Holloman, and Jamel Jackson are your drum majors. They're putting on a Motown show. Enjoy. That's the Fighting Irish Band from Dublin High School performing a Motown number. And let's hear from Davina Sutton down the field.
Dublin's Fighting Irish Band, and I'm now joined with the director, Ken Goff. And you can't help but notice how huge your band is. Talk about that.
It's kind of a situation that I walked into. This is my first year in Dublin, and there's been a great history of the band, and it's been something that the community has really thrived on and has really wanted to see a good-sized band and a good band. And so it's been a great situation that I've been able to walk into. This year we have about 120 with 5 staff members. Staff members have just been incredible in welcoming us to Dublin.
And one of the staff members happens to be your wife?
My lovely, beautiful wife is one of my staff members. She's been great helping me out this year. This is our first time working together, and it's just been really nice.
Now, technically, how do you put together performance selection?
Well, the first thing is I want to get something that has a broad audience appeal. And this year, Motown is just one of those things that whether you're young or if you're a little older, you appreciate the music of Motown. And so I wanted to start out my career at Dublin with a good show. And so Motown was just the obvious choice for that. We started in July working band camp and working on the drill and the music, and this is the product you see today.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Let's send it back up to the booth.
Thanks, Davina. Great job by both bands. Let's go to the football game. First half highlights, and Bo, I don't really know where to start, but let's start with number 5.
Start with Demetrius Murray because he had a great run. He's really impressive. This is the kid we were talking about. Look him bounce to the right, up the middle, and then he's going to bounce to the right side after this. Coming up right here and take it the distance, and he's the guy we always said, you know, at his size where he's listed, he looks so much bigger, runs with so much power than his weight of 210. Now here comes the guy they call Mr. Romper Stomper in Buford, Tyler King. Tyler King had a bundle of touchdowns in the first half, and he was not going to be denied. Look at the will and the willpower of this man. Look at the sheer power. Here he comes again. Hit once, twice, 3 times. Look at those pile driving quads. He wants touchdown after his name, and he is from now on Mr. Romper Stomper.
And the statistics are dominated by the Buford Wolves. 40 yards passing, 223 of total yards. And that was King, Tyler King, with 41 yards, 3 touchdowns, a hat trick to lead the Wolves. We got a second half of football coming your way from the Georgia Dome. Buford and Dublin back after this. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. We get ready to start the second half. Buford up 35-0. Davina Sutton is down with Dublin head coach Roger Holmes.
Okay, Coach, we talked about earlier stopping their running game. How will you adjust in the second half?
Well, we think when we went to our 5-3 package there toward the end of the second half, we had a little bit more success. Bottom line is our kids got to come out and play for their pride right now and execute a little bit better in the second half.
All right, thanks. Good luck.
So Roger Holmes, he's not let it get to him. He knows there's another half of football and anything can happen.
Good, but he had a decision to make at halftime. You know, there's a rule in Georgia high school athletics that if you're down by 31 in the third quarter, the losing coach, the trailing coach, has the option of having a running clock. If you're down by 31 or more going into the fourth quarter, it's automatic. So coach had to make that decision.
A booming kick toward Murray. And he'll go out of bounds. So Buford will have the ball to begin the second half.
Free kick infraction on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Buford will have the ball at the 35-yard line. They've been an offensive machine. We've talked about their defense, how good they are, but this offense is pretty stout too. First and 10. And Hoosh to keep it, throws, and almost caught by Cody Case. Finally, something goes wrong for the Wolves.
Yeah. Cody had thumbs up. He needed to have pinkies up to make that catch. And nice throw by Hosh. Led Cody Case just a little bit. He was 4 for 7 in the first half for a total of 40 yards.
Tui Hoosh had 14 touchdowns on the year. He's a starter on the basketball team as well.
He looks like a point guard type of guy.
Well, the point guard's the quarterback of the basketball team. He's a team leader in both squads. That's Murray, and Murray will pick up 5 and brought down, tripped up by Andreas Rollins. So here's an opportunity for this Dublin defense to start the second half with a 3-and-out. That would be a huge positive influence for this Fighting Irish defense.
Well, the Dublin band ended their performance with a fight song rendition of When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, which was the best I ever heard. That was fun to listen to. Maybe this is what they're talking about. Maybe this is what they're talking about. Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
Hoosh, give it to Getz. And Cody Getz will be stopped short of the first down. And so they do get the 3-and-out. And the green and gold of Dublin, the fans down below us, have something to cheer about. Campos to punt. And Rashad Smith back deep. Fair catch at the 19. And so now it's on the Dublin offense to get some positive plays to begin the second half. The defense came up.
And as you can see, coach has elected not to have a running clock.
Still confident in that Dublin Fighting Irish offense. Rashad Smith, the junior.
Well, he wants to get something positive. I mean, your next game, if you lose this game, is next year, and you want the kids to go in the offseason with a good taste in their mouths and feel prideful of their performance.
Lions in motion. And the give is to Johnny Reed, I believe. Stopped by Demetrius Murray. That was Keyshawn Spikes on the carry. The senior had 62 yards against Jefferson County in Dublin's second round win.
Really need to let Rashad Smith, the quarterback, perform his whoopity-doo act. Make something happen.
He broke one long one already today. He's going to look to throw and completes it to Canada. And Bryston Canada putting on some moves but gets nowhere. TJ Pridemore was there to bring him down. Good hands by Canada.
Well, it shows you how quickly Buford reacts. There were 3 men around that reception.
You can't juke like that with this defense. You got to head straight to the goalposts. Because this defense has speed, as you take a look at Bryston Canada, the junior. 11 catches on the year. On third down, little shovel pass to Johnny Reed. And Reed has the first down.
There you go, the old Buttercup play.
The old Buttercup play. But it's positive, and that's a first down for the Irish. So now the Irish have a little momentum going, and it's Andreas Rollins, and Rollins stood up at the line of scrimmage, may have gotten a yard. That's about it. They'll give him about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 as Omar Hunter and Dallas Lee and the rest of the Wolves were all over Rollins.
Who was I talking about? Lee who? What's his name? John? From Utah, the old Buttercup play. What's his real name?
Lee Groska.
Lee Groska.
Johnny Reed on a little misdirection.
Last year, John and I were doing a game, and we saw that shovel pass, and right away I thought about Lee Groska, who's the one who popularized that play when he played in college. And I called it. Remember Lee Buttercup used to run that play all the time?
I don't even know what was on your mind when you brought that up. It's a 3rd and long for Dublin. Smith to throw, and it's picked off by Cody Vining. Touchdown. 42 yards.
Wow. See the break on the ball? That's just great instincts. See it when we get the camera. It's a good rifle shot. Well, just a great break on the ball. Actually, what would have gone there was a pump and go.
And a clear path to the end zone.
Because Cody Vining was hanging on that. If you gave it a pump and then sent the receiver downfield, but those are all things that come with experience. Now we've got a blocked extra point. Good.
Well, perhaps Dublin can build on that as it's 41-0. You take a look. Take a look at the interception again.
Yeah. Then there he is pouncing on it.
And Cody Vining, 5'10", 185 pounds. He has 4.4 speed in the 40. 42-yard interception return. 84 tackles on the year as well. He's all over the field. And so the Dublin Irish will have another shot to get some positive yards offensively. We've been talking about this defense of Buford and that front 7 and how active they are. It reminds me of a quote from Jimmy Chupp in the paper today. That their front 7 looks like 9 guys.
Yeah. Did you see how fast they closed?
And boy, Getz laid down the wood.
I think that Buford, and maybe my eyes are deceiving me, I think they're one of the fastest high school teams I've seen in a long time.
It's hard to argue. I mean, I don't think I've seen any high school teams faster.
Watch this and listen to this. Oh.
Yeah, the plastic popping will get you fired up. That goes good with pigskin for breakfast. Yeah. And the keeper is Rashad Smith, and Smith has a whole bunch of white shirts on him.
You notice that Dublin hasn't been able to play in space at all to utilize their speed and what they do. Just everything's been bottled up. You try to get the ball to the perimeter, and it's intercepted by a Vining. You go the other way, and it's intercepted by Case. So, it's just been that type of day. They've got to find a way to get the ball in space and make something happen.
Well, I'm wondering if Rashad Smith is now going to take over. Read in motion. He is going to throw. He's got big 78 chasing him, and the pass is incomplete. Trevor Warbington was pursuing, and Bryson Canada was the intended receiver. Watch Warbington on the chase.
Look at him go, that big old guy. And then good coverage downfield. That was Cody Case. Just can't find an opening, can't find an advantage.
And that's what Dublin had to do. They had to find one thing on their offense and establish that. And they haven't been able to establish anything. This Buford defense is just that good. Warbington again giving chase. The pass is caught by Andrakis Rollins. Rollins with a great gainer across midfield to the 47-yard line. Andrew Zacchaeus on the stop.
Good call, Coach. That's getting a play in space. Come to the right side. Now everybody flows left. Nobody out there. Get a good block downfield. Right there. Actually, 2 good blocks. Here, you're going to see it right here. There's a block from 64. Another block on Cody Case. And that, that's getting the ball in space. This is what Dublin has got to do against this Buford squad.
It's Rollins again, and Rollins with some good positive yardage will get about 4 yards before being brought down by Buford's number 12, Michael May.
That softened up the middle a little bit now. It's been a long time since Dublin has been able to get any yardage, any production out of the middle of their offense. Build on that. 2 positive plays. Let's see if they can build on that and put something on the scoreboard.
Finally, something for the Irish to feel good about. Here's Rollins, and Rollins this time will get stood up at the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Pridemore in on the stop. He's been all over the field today, that TJ Pridemore.
Yeah, should have seen his father play. In case his father played.
Jess Simpson.
I mean, that was a thrill. That was back when it was fun to be a Falcons fan.
Jess Simpson in his 3rd year, 36 wins, only 2 losses, 6-2 career in the playoff. He took over for Dexter Wood 3 years ago. He was on the staff with Dexter. In fact, played for Dexter Wood at Marietta when he was the head coach there. And a little misdirection. Rollins, he's been a workhorse on this drive, and he'll have a first down as he gets across the 35 to the 33-yard line. A nice sustained drive for the Irish.
I'm still thinking about a Grits blitz defense. Those were the days. Didn't win a lot, but people knew we were there.
Bo has his Falcon memory bank going. Dublin has a first down. And a fumble by Smith. He looks like he got on top of it.
Joy, that's the 3rd time that's happened today, and that's what happens to a center when you've got a great defensive front like that that's been beating you up all day. And
get a little shell-shocked, in other words?
And that big center, 310 pounds for Dublin, he's committed to Georgia Tech. And he'll be getting a call today, too.
16 yards on 6 carries by Andrakis Rollins. He has over 1,000 yards on the year.
Here it is.
Up the middle. Not much there.
All right, at least that stretches it out and makes Buford have to make a play in space.
We have a 3rd and long situation. Roger Holmes came to Dublin from Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Good man.
Back in 2000.
Great coach.
He's a tough negotiator, too. You know, he went in, talked to Dublin, and he got a bump in salary. His kids get the Hope Scholarship, but the deal maker, he gets all the boiled peanuts he wants. So that's a coach, though, that literally is working for peanuts. Smith in trouble. Eludes 2 Buford Wolves, but can't avoid the 3rd. Big Tyler King. He's doing it on defense, too.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? You get a 2-way player like that. And all these guys are 2-way players, but they're relentless. Here you go, Rashad Smith got a chance to maybe turn something up. They got a handle on him. Then there comes Tyler King. And
well, first he had Omar Hunter breathing down his neck. If you take a look at Tyler King's numbers on the year, 7 sacks, he got his 8th, 59 tackles. But initially, he had big Omar Hunter chasing him down, and he's heading to the other Fighting Irish known as Notre Dame.
But can King score a touchdown?
He only has 3. He might score a couple more. Smith in trouble again, tries to get it out to Andrakis Smith. And he caught it on the short hop. Unfortunately, that's incomplete. And King was there to chase him down again.
Coach Holmes reversed the field. That was the play that went for good yardage to the left side, then come back to the right. And he's, I think, getting the feel also that he needs to play this game a little more in space just to give him a chance.
41-0, the Buford Wolves leading the Dublin Fighting Irish here in the 3rd quarter at the Class AA semifinal.
Here we go.
Check out this Buford defense.
Watch this. Just pressure on the quarterback. Even though the reception was made, who knows how far it would have gone downfield.
They fly to the ball. And Dublin has really had no shot on offense to get anything positive going. They turned it over on downs. And so Buford will get another shot. 41-0. And the give is to Alex Hunt. Now Hunt's caught in the backfield and brought down by the determined Irish defense.
Yeah, good for them.
Anthony Thomas there on the stop.
Playing hard, not cashing in their chips. Say, we'll show you, Buford. You know, come up with some positive plays.
I mean,
still playing slobber knocker football, knocking people around.
You know, there are people around the state that are amazed that the Fighting Irish are here. They lost 21 starters from last year's team. In fact, Roger Holmes had to replace his entire coaching staff. 6 assistant coaches left. Boy, what a resilient ball club. And here they are at the Georgia Dome. Hoosh. Call him Crazy Legs. He's put together some crazy runs today. He gets out the midfield and the first down. Anthony Thomas on the stop.
He looks like a point guard, doesn't he? You know, with his instincts.
He's waiting for him to dribble it between his legs.
He doesn't get antsy.
Took a shot from Thomas. Never saw that coming. He's had some crazy runs today. He's a competitor, though. He is the emotional leader of this offense for the Wolves.
He's a heck of an athlete.
Single back, double tight end. Give it to Murray, and Murray met at the line of scrimmage, picks up 2, and Dracus Rollins was there to greet him.
Can you imagine how much fun it's been if you're a senior at Buford and to grow up in that community with those guys and to grow in the game of football the way they have and have so many, you know, performers around you that are so good? That would be fun to be playing with guys at this point.
Well, you know, Bo, there are those programs that consistently win regional titles, and then those programs at the other level that win, or not win, but you know, compete for state titles. And then Buford goes the extra. They have Division I talent as well. It is a program. And there's Tyler King, and King met the line of scrimmage and brought down by Nick McRae of the Irish. Now Buford's had some success. You know, they've won 4 state championships in 78, 2001, 2000. Those are single A titles. 2002 and 2003 were double A titles, and we've reached the end of the third quarter with Buford up 41-0. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this. Start of the fourth quarter, 41-0 Buford, and Bo Buck, we're in a rather unique situation now.
Yeah, we're in automatic running clock now. Time to get your last pigskin breakfast muffin real quick. This quarterback is going to go quick. The clock will only stop for timeouts, injuries, and TDs. For instance, if there's an incomplete pass, the clock still runs.
And Melvin Harris catches that bomb from Tui Hoosh inside the 20 to the 25.
And he was out of bounds, but of course the clock keeps running.
First look at big Melvin Harris.
That big
6'8".
guy, yeah, he scares coaches.
Beautiful catch. 8 touchdowns on the year, 21.8 yards per catch. He's starting to get college interest from North Carolina and Notre Dame, and a lot of the scouting people say that he is the best kept secret in the South.
I would imagine. You know, Coach Holmes, that's what he said to me last night. He, you know, boy, I'd love to load it up inside against their running game, but you can't because they've got that monster outside. That wide receiver was just great.
Fast, good hands. Michael May has come in at quarterback as some of the second and third teamers now getting a chance. And the give is to Storm Johnson. And Storm thundering down for a couple of yards. He had 71 yards, Storm Johnson did in the first round game against Washington Wilkes. May with 446 yards passing and 6 touchdowns for the junior. He'll take over for Tui Hoosh next year.
Yeah, those seniors have just got to feel great. Growing up together and having this kind of success. I know my nephew plays at Walton, Billy Burns. got a bunch of seniors, the same guys. They all grew up together. They won a state baseball championship. Now they're looking to get a state football championship.
And there's Storm Johnson thundering into the end zone for 6 points. 47-0, 12-yard run by Johnson. Power football as it's been all day long, or all morning long.
Just plug them in.
Take a look at.
And he's only a sophomore,
Johnson.
John. Did you mention that?
So Buford up now 48-0. You know, though Roger Holmes is one of those special type of coaches, and he talks about what's special about coaching.
Well, for me, I think the thing that you like the most about the coaching end of it is the relationships that you build with your players and you build with your community. I think that's very special to be able to have respect of your community and that type thing. And, you know, I think the other thing is real important is the challenges on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis is makes the job very enjoyable.
You know, I bet the players love playing for Coach Holmes because, you know, even though it's, you know, it hasn't been the best of games, I mean, you look at him, he's still enjoying himself, he's still positive, coaching up, still teaching.
Well, more importantly, coming out of the locker room, you know, when Davina spoke with him, you could see that, you know, there's no need to panic here, no need to get mad at the kids. You're playing against a superior football team. You know, sometimes you've got to take your lumps to be able to grow.
He's won 64 games as head coach of the Dublin Fighting Irish.
Yeah, Roger Holmes is one of the all-timers. He's a great one.
And he was successful in Tennessee as well before he came down to Georgia at Hendersonville. And the Irish will start off at the 35-yard line. We hope you're enjoying this game throughout the state of Georgia and around the world on the World Wide Web. Rashad Smith under center, and it's Andreas Rollins breaking it. He has a first down and mauled and hauled down by Colt Hours and Deontay Carr. Jess Simpson in his third year, you know, he's had some great mentors as he's gotten in the coaching profession. He played for Pat Dye and then was a grad assistant for Pat Dye and then for Terry Bowden at Auburn, and then he became an assistant with his head coach at Marietta, Dexter Wood, here in Buford, and he really talks about what a mentor and what a father figure Dexter Wood has been for him. He's got the opportunity now to follow his mentor and father figure, and it's been a successful trip so far. And Rashad Smith on the keeper, and he'll have another Dublin first down all the way out to the 41-yard line.
And good news for Coach Holmes is that, you know, Rashad is only a junior.
Yeah, he'll be back.
It is. You know, he's the guy. Here's the one who makes things happen for them in all phases of the game.
At least the football players.
And at least he's going to have. At least he's going to have returning starters.
Right.
I mean, unlike this coming year when he had to replace his whole team. The pitch to Johnny Reed. Reed brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and the Wolf defense still making some noise. Brought down by Blake Bennett.
And that's why, look at this defense right here. You know, just, you know, swarming all afternoon. And now obviously Buford has some depth too. But Coach Holmes doesn't like this running clock, only for the reason he'd like to get a few more plays on tape that he can coach from, in the offseason and spring ball and, next August.
Reed brought down by Hunter Jones. So this Buford Wolf defense, and they'll graduate some players, but they've got some players to back them up and make some noise for 2008. Meanwhile, the Dublin Fighting Irish, 3rd and 11. Jacobs Rollins in motion, and Smith looking toward Rollins. Lets it go. He's behind the defense. Can't haul it in. Double covered there.
Yeah, that's the first time all morning that Dublin has had that opportunity to throw the ball. First of all, they had, the receiver had a little bit of separation. And second of all, the quarterback had time to throw. Goes outside, bides time, good blocking up front. And there was a little bit of separation there, as you can see.
Just threw it too much toward the white lines.
But that's the first time this morning we've seen that.
Here's a fake punt. And the pass is almost caught. Whoa, what a hit by number 12, Michael May, the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Michael May, just a great job. Also plays defensive back. He's also a junior.
Coffey was trying to hit Rashad Smith. Let's listen to this plastic popping.
Watch him come.
Oh, right on the ball.
That's what you call reckless abandon.
So Michael May, who delivered the wood, will now come out and lead the Wolves on offense.
And that makes guys around him really play hard, too. If your quarterback is laying it out on the line like that, like Haas has done all day, makes everybody play hard.
And we give to the lone back in the backfield. A couple yards there. Jake Vaverka had to carry.
Harry Meir is the legendary Georgia coach who, after his coaching days in Georgia and Ole Miss, wrote articles for the AJC. And I read one actually last night that he wrote about 1957. He was talking about going for the extra, going for 2 points to win a game instead of 1 point, and said that it's an honorable thing to do, to go for the win and not just tie it and come away with something like that. And that's what Coach Simpson is doing here. He's doing the honorable thing. He's up by a bundle. He's got a great coach on the other side. He happens to have a better team this year, but you don't embarrass a team, and you take care of high school football. You take care of the coaching fraternity, and most of all, you don't hurt the kids.
And also, he's giving the young kids on the Buford team a chance to experience this atmosphere in the Georgia Dome, the NFL atmosphere. Of course, it's been 3 years since Buford was here, and now they're back, and they'll be playing for a state championship next week. And the ball's no. Michael May kept it.
I think that was a fake. Down. I think that was a fake. I don't know how he did it.
I don't either.
I think he put it in his gut and took it back out.
Well, it's almost like it was there, then grabbed it again. Even the assistant coach there is laughing about it.
Yeah.
We're near the 3-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Michael May. The backup quarterback for Dublin, getting some action. Storm Johnson, the lone back. Storm, who has a touchdown today already. And he'll get a couple, and that's it on first down. Bring up a second down as the clock continues to run. Dublin, the defending 2A state champion, although their season will end in 2007 with the loss here in the semifinal. This is one of the gold standard programs in Class 2A. This is a program that's won 4 state championships. They were a power in the late 50s and early 60s. winning 3 Class A titles in 59, 60, and 63. They shared last year with Charlton County.
You know, there's one thing I want to say about Buford. There's a football term that really describes what Buford's all about and what they look like and how they play today. Wow.
I was thinking more jaw-dropping.
Wow.
Deontay Carr is now your quarterback. Some of those smiles there on the Buford sideline. Near the minute-and-a-half mark. There's a broken play there. Storm Johnson was running for his life. And he actually got a couple of yards. I think Storm was supposed to run one way and ran the other.
Yeah, couldn't have been the quarterback's mistake because he's wearing the wristband.
Fourth down. Take a look at Deontay Carr, who's the third Buford quarterback, and he'll go under center one last time. Under a minute. Give it to the fullback.
Right up the gut, the honorable thing to do on 4th and 9. Just turn it over to Dublin where they've got a little room. Just that's the way to go out with class and style.
So Dublin will get one play, perhaps two, and the Buford end is making noise. Their Wolves dominated today, and they're heading for the state title game. It's been a while since the Wolves have been there, and Jess Simpson, in his 3rd year, will take the Wolves to the title game. And how appropriate that the Buford defense on the last play of the game tackled the Dublin running back for a loss. But it was all Buford this morning, 48-0. The Wolves are heading to the state championship game. Their last state championship back-to-back in 2002, 2003. And Jess Simpson, there with Roger Holmes, has restored the tradition. And again, one of the best sights in sports right there, the post-game handshake.
And Buford swarmed from beginning to end.
And Buford wins this. We'll be back with... And welcome back to the Georgia Dome, where the Buford Wolves have defeated the Dublin Fighting Irish 48-0. Davina Sutton standing by with the winning coach, Jeff Simpson.
Well, first off, congratulations, Coach. You're going to the championship.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Really proud of our kids and the way they stay focused after a big win last week. You know, we were nervous that, you know, our kids hadn't beaten Charlton in so long, and then coming into the Dome today against a quality opponent like Dublin, and never expected we'd play this well today. And I'm just really pleased for our coaches and our seniors in our community.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations in the next game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Davina. So the Buford Wolves defeat Dublin 48-0. They go to the state championship game. They'll play the winner of the game. Coming up next, the Lovett Lions taking on Cook. Jim Giannacchio and Mark Lassiter have that for you. So stay tuned for that one, and stay tuned for the entire day of high school football right here on GPB. For Bo Bach and Davina Sutton and our crew in the truck and the entire crew here at the Georgia Dome, I'm John Wilkerson. So long, everyone.